Namo Buddhaya. Satasahasrika Prajnaparamita Sūtram. The Large Sutra on Perfect Wisdom, Chapter 2. The Thought of Enlightenment. The knowledge of all modes, the varieties of the thought of enlightenment. The thought of enlightenment connected with the desire for full enlightenment in general. When the Lord saw that the whole universe, with the world of the gods, the world of Mara, the world of Brahma, with its Shamanas and Brahmanas, had assembled, and also the Bodhisattvas who would one day reach the state of Buddha, he said to the Venerable Shariputra, a Bodhisattva, a great being who wants to fully know all dharmas in all their modes, should take endeavors in the perfection of wisdom. The thought of enlightenment connected with the desire for full enlightenment in detail. Shariputra. How then should he make endeavors in the perfection of wisdom? The Lord. Here Shariputra, a Bodhisattva, a great being, having stood in the perfection of wisdom by way of not taking and stand on it, should perfect the perfection of giving by way of seeing that no renunciation has taken place, since gift, giver, the recipient have not been apprehended. He should perfect himself in the perfection of morality through not transgressing into either offense or non-offense. He should perfect the perfection of passions and remain imperturbable. He should perfect the perfection of vigor and remain indefatigable in his physical and mental vigor. He should perfect the perfection of meditation and derive no enjoyment from transic meditation. He should perfect the perfection of wisdom on account of the fact that he apprehends neither wisdom nor stupidity. The thought of enlightenment which has the welfare of others for its object in general. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being who wants to lead to nirvana, into the realm of nirvana, which leaves nothing behind, all the beings who are in each of the 10 quarters in world systems as numerous in the sands of the Ganges. He should train in perfect wisdom. The thought of enlightenment which has the welfare of others for its object in detail. Likewise, a Bodhisattva, a great being, should train himself in perfect wisdom if he desires to establish niggardly beings in giving the immoral immorality, those abounding in ill will and passions, the slothful in vigor, those with distracted thoughts in concentrated meditation, and the stupid in the achievement of wisdom. The 22 varieties of the thought of enlightenment, associated with determination and like the earth. Moreover, a Bodhisattva, a great being, who wants to know fully all the dharmas in all their modes, should stand in perfect wisdom. Second, associated with earnest intention and like bright gold. Thus the Bodhisattva, the great being, should here, having stood in the perfection of wisdom, by way of not taking his stand on it, perfect the perfection of giving, on account of the non-apprehension of gift, giver, and recipient. And so with the perfection of morality, perfection of wisdom, on account of the non-apprehension of either wisdom or stupidity. Third, associated with resolute intention and like the new moon. Thus, having stood on the perfection of wisdom, a Bodhisattva and great being should fulfill the 4 stations of mindfulness, the 4 right efforts, the 4 bases of physic powers, the 5 dominants, the 5 powers, the 7 limbs of enlightenment, the 8-fold path. He should develop the emptiness concentration, the signless concentration, the wishless concentration. So he should develop the 4 trances, the 4 unlimited, the 4 formless attainments, the 8 deliverances, the 9 attainments of successive stations, and the 9 unlovely perceptions. Which 9? The perception of a swollen corpse, a vomiting corpse, a festering corpse, a bloody corpse, a bluish corpse, a corpse of being devoured, a scattered corpse, a burned corpse, a corpse of only bones. He should develop the perception of revulsion from food. He should develop the recollection of the Buddha, of the Dharma, of the Sangha, of morality, of renunciation, of the gods, of breathing, of agitation, of death, and of what belongs to the body, the perception of impermanence, of ill, of not self, unloveliness, death, lack of delight in anything in the world, distrust for everything in the world, the cognition of ill, origination, stopping, path, the cognition of extinction, of non-production, the cognition of dharma, the subsequent cognition, the cognition conforming to worldly convention, the cognition of mastery, the cognition according to the letter. He should develop the concentration with thoughts adjusted and discursive, the concentration without thoughts adjusted and with only discursive thoughts, the concentration without the thoughts adjusted or thoughts discursive. He should develop the dominant I shall come to understand, the not yet understood, the dominant of understanding, the dominant of one who has understood. He should develop the stations of mastery, the all bases, the cognition of all knowing, both coming down and inside, the 3 knowledges, the 4 analytical knowledges, the 4 grounds of self-confidence, the 5 imperishable super-knowledges, the 6 perfections, the 7 prizes, the 8 discoursing of the Superman, the 10 powers of Tathagata, the 18 Buddha Dharmas, the great friendliness, the great compassion, the great pathetic joy, the great even-mindedness. 4. Associated with exertion and like a blazing fire. A bodhisattva, a great being who wants fully to know the cognition of all knowing, which is furnished with the best of all modes to develop the perfection of wisdom. A bodhisattva, a great being who wants to fulfill the knowledge of the paths, to reach the knowledge of all modes, to fulfill the cognition of the thoughts and doing of all beings, to tear out the defilements and all the residues relating to them, should make efforts in the perfection of wisdom. Thus should a bodhisattva great being be trained in perfect wisdom. Likewise, he should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to enter into the fixed condition of a bodhisattva, to pass beyond the level of a disciple or pratika Buddha, to stand on the irreversible stage, completely to pass beyond the stage of crown prince, to attain the 6 super-knowledges, to become aware of the restless thoughts and doings of all beings, to surpass the cognition of all disciples and pratika Buddhas, to acquire the dharani doors and the concentration doors. 5th, associated with the perfection of giving and like a great treasury, to establish stingy beings in giving, desirous of surpassing the gifts which are given by all the disciples and pratika Buddhas by means of one single production of a thought associated with rejoicing. 6th, associated with the perfection of morality and like a dual mind, to establish the immoral in morality. 7th, associated with the perfection of passions and like the great ocean, those with angry thoughts in passions. 8. Associated with the perfection of vigor and like a thunderbolt, the slothful in vigor. 9th, associated with the perfection of meditation and like a mountain, those with distracted thought in trance. 10th, associated with the perfection of wisdom and like a remedy, and the stupid in wisdom. 11th, associated with skill in means and like a teacher. A bodhisattva, a great being who wants to make a skillful conversion, one single production of thought directed to the knowledge of all modes into an immeasurable and incalculable one, should also train in perfect wisdom, having given but a little gift, having guarded but a little morality, having developed but a little patience, having exerted but a little vigor, having entered trance but a little, having developed wisdom but a little, a bodhisattva, a great being who wants to, by skillful conversion, to make the small amount for all beings on account of the knowledge of all modes into an immeasurable and incalculable one, should train in perfect wisdom. Moreover, a bodhisattva, a great being who wants to course in the perfection of giving, should train in perfect wisdom, and so with the other 5 perfections. A bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants, for the sake of all beings, passionately to endure the sufferings of the hells of animal birth and the world of Yama, out of regard for beings, to renounce the merit gained from morality, though it had been piled up for hundreds of eons, to be born in the family of the Buddha, to achieve the 80 minor characteristics and the 32 marks of a superman. 12. Associated with the vow and like a wishing jewel, to achieve the body of a Buddha, to step on to the stage of crown prince, never to be without Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Moreover, a Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants with one single voice to instruct countless world systems in each one of the 10 directions, to ensure the unbroken tradition of the triple jewel, to foster in himself all the wholesome roots which will enable him to respect, honor, revere, and worship the Tathagatas. 13th. Associated with the powers and like the sun. Moreover, a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to fulfill the wishes of all beings for food, drinks, garments, perfumes, garlands, flowers, incense, medicinal powders, ointment, band seeds, houses, money, grain, ornaments, jewels, gems, pearls, lapis lazuli, shells, quartz, coral, gold, silver, grows, kingdoms, etc. To establish in the 6 perfections all beings in the world, which has as its highest development the Dharma element and the space element as its terminus limit, to make one single production of a skillful thought unfailing until the time when full enlightenment is reached on the terrace of enlightenment, to be praised by the Buddhas and Lords in the 10 directions. 14th. Associated with cognition like a sweet song, to be trained in the 18 kinds of emptiness, the emptiness of the subject, to look through the suchness of all dharmas, to the suchness of the dharma element, etc., to the suchness of all reality limits, to recognize the great Ritchili-cosm and the atomic entities of earth, water, fire, and air. Moreover, a bodhisattva, a great being, when coursing in perfect wisdom, knows that a gift thus given is fruitful. When he has thus given a gift, he is reborn in good families, among warriors, Brahmins, or householders, or among various kinds of gods. Such a gift is also conducive to the acquisition of the first trance, and so on to the 8th trance, to the acquisition of 37 dharmas which act as wings to enlightenment, of the fruit of stream winner, etc., to acquisition of practical Buddhahood and of full Buddhahood. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being who courses in perfect wisdom, should know that a gift thus given with skill and means fulfills the perfection of giving, and so with the other 5 perfections. Shariputra. How is the perfection of given fulfilled by a bodhisattva great being who gives the gift, and how the other five perfections? The Lord. The perfection of given is fulfilled when gift, giver, and receiver are not taken as a basis. The perfection of morality thought not transgressing into either offense or non-offense. The perfection of passions through imperturbability. The perfection of vigor through indefatigability of body and mind, the perfection of meditation by the absence of distractions and representations, the perfection of wisdom by wisely knowing all dharmas without looking for definite facts. In this way are the six perfections fulfilled by Bodhisattva, great being who gives a gift. In the same way are all the six perfections fulfilled in the perfection of morality, etc., to the perfection of wisdom. 15th. Associated with the superknowledges and like a great king. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to transcend through the production of one single thought countless world system in each of the 10 directions, to lift with the fine point of the tip of a hair split 100-fold of the water element in the great cosmos that there is in the great oceans, in rivers great and small, in ponds and pools, without, however, wanting to hurt the beginners inhabiting it, to blow out with one mighty breath from his mouth the fires in the great cosmos, which is all aflame with the universal conflagration raging at the end of a neon, to cover with the tip of the joint of one single finger the all-shaking whirlwind, which when it proceeds shakes, disperses, and reduces to dust the entire earth and all the mountains, beginning with Sumer, the great Sumer, the mountain rings, the great mountain rings that irradiate during one single session of course-like meditation the entire space element in the great cosmos. After he has, with one single hair, tied up and uplifted the mountains in the great cosmos, Sumer, the great Sumer, the mountain rings, the great mountain rings, etc., to hurl them forth beyond countless world systems. Moreover, Bodhisattva great being should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to each of the 10 directions in all Buddha fields, to see the Buddhas and Lords with the heavenly eye, to hear the demonstration of Dharma with the heavenly ear, to know the thoughts and doings of all beings, to remember their former lives, to call forth the superknowledge of the cognition of the extension of their outflows, and to realize the reality limit. 16. Associated with the equipment with cognition merit, and like a storehouse of jewelry. Moreover, Bodhisattva great being should train in the perfect wisdom if he wants to present with one single alms bowl all the Buddhas and Lords together with their congregations of disciples, as many as there are in the world system, countless as the sands of the Ganges, in each single direction, and equally so a Bodhisattva great being who wants to honor, respect, revere, and worship those Tathagatas with showers of flowers, incense, perfumes, garlands, unguents, aromatic powders, strips of cloth, parasols, flags, and streamers. Moreover, a Bodhisattva great being should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to establish all beings in countless world system in each one of the 10 directions, in the 5 portions of the Dharma, in morality, concentration, wisdom, liberation, the vision and cognition of liberation, in the fruit of a stream winner, etc., to practical Buddha enlightenment, etc., to in the realm of nirvana which leaves nothing behind. 17th. Associated with the wings of enlightenment like a highway. Moreover, Bodhisattva great being should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to gain the Buddha qualities of the past, future, and present Buddhas and Lords, to go beyond the contrast of conditioned and unconditioned dharmas, to look through the suchness of all dharmas, past, future, and present, and to reach the non-production limit. 18th. associated with calming down and insight and like a chariot, to win precedence over all disciples and Pratika Buddhas, to become an attendant of all of the Buddhas and Lords, to belong to the intimate retinue of the Buddhas and Lords, to have a great retinue and to acquire a retinue of Bodhisattvas, and to purify the nations made by others. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to suppress all thoughts of meanness, to prevent all thought of immorality and of ill will from ever recurring, to abandon all thought of indolence, to prevent all distracted thought and all stupid thought from ever recurring. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to establish all beings in the foundation of meritorious work consistent and given, in the foundation of meritorious work consistent in morality, in the foundation of meritorious work consistent in meditational development, in the foundation of meritorious work connected with the service, in the foundation of meritorious work derived from material gifts given in faith to the Tathagata. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to produce the 5 eyes, the fleshy eye, the heavenly eye, the wisdom eye, Dharma eye, the Buddha eye, to see in each of the 10 directions, with the heavenly eye in the Buddhas and Lords, countless like the sands of the Ganges, to hear with the heavenly ear the dharmas which those Buddhas and Lords teach, to comprehend with his heart, and is the thought of those Buddhas and Lords, to recall the Bodhisattvahood connected with the previous lives of those Buddhas and Lords, and to see the display of their wonder-working power. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to keep in mind until he fully awakens to enlightenment by the assumption of the power of unbroken memory, all the dharmas which the Buddhas, the Lords, teach in all the 10 directions in all the world system after he has heard them, to see the Buddha fields of the past Buddhas and Lords, and of the future Buddhas and Lords, and of those Buddhas and Lords who just now in the world and all the 10 directions stand, hold, and maintain themselves. 19th. Associated with the inspiration of the Dharanis and like unto a fountain. To learn whatever has been taught, or is being taught, or will be taught by the Buddhas, the Lords, in the 10 directions, the discourses in prose and verse mingled, predictions, verses, summaries, origins. Thus was said, birth stories, expanded texts, marvelous tales, expositions, and what has not been heard by the disciples, to bear it in mind, to preach it, to progress to its thusness, and to illuminate it in detail for others. 20th. Associated with the bestowal of Dharma and like a delightful sound. Moreover, Bodhisattva, great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to illuminate in each one of the 10 directions in world systems, countless like the sands of the Ganges, all the regions of darkness which the light of sun and moon cannot reach, to proclaim in each of the 10 directions in countless world systems the message of the Buddha, of the Dharma, of the Sangha, to all the beings who are reborn in the various Buddha fields, and to establish all those beings in right view. 21st. Associated with the path of the one vehicle and like a river in full spate. Moreover, Bodhisattva, great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wishes that all the beings who are blind in each one of the 10 directions in countless world systems should, by his might, see forms with their eyes, that the deaf should hear sounds with their ears, the insane regain their mindfulness, the naked obtain clothes, the hungry be fed, that those beings who were born in the states of woe should be freed from all the states of woe and acquire human bodies, that he will help to establish the immoral in morality, and the unconcentrated in concentration, the stupid and the wisdom, those unliberated in liberation, those who have no vision and cognition of liberation and the vision and cognition of liberation, those who do not see the truths in the fruit of the stream winner, etc., in the enlightenment of a Pratika Buddha, in the utmost right and perfect enlightenment. 22nd. Associated with the Dharma body and like a great rain cloud. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in perfect wisdom if he wants to train himself in the bearing of a Tathagata. Moreover, Bodhisattva, a great being who courses in perfect wisdom, should consider, when then will I immediately before my parinirvana cast back the elephant look? He should consider that he should train in perfect wisdom so that his feet may glide at least 4 inches above the ground, so that surrounded by all the gods, revered by many hundreds of thousands of newtons of goddess of gods, he may approach the foot of the tree of enlightenment, so that those same gods may spread out a carpet at the root of the tree of enlightenment, so that when he has fully known the utmost right and perfect enlightenment, whether he walks, stands, sits, or lies down, that spot of earth may become adamantine, so that he may know full enlightenment of the very day that he leaves home, and on that very same day turn the wheel of Dharma, so that when he turns the wheel of Dharma, countless beings purify the dispassionate and stained Dharma eye in regard to Dharmas, are freed from the outflows without further clinging, and become irreversible from full enlightenment, so that he may have a community of disciples that can neither be measured nor calculated, countless beings through one single demonstration of Dharma becoming austere and solitary arhats of bodhisattvas, great beings who are irreversible from the utmost right and perfect enlightenment, so that he may have a community of bodhisattvas that can neither be measured nor calculated, so that the measure of his lifespan may be measureless, and he may achieve a measureless splendor, so that when he has known full enlightenment as his Buddha field, there may be no occasions whatsoever for greed, hate, and delusion, so that when he has known full enlightenment, beings become endowed with such a wisdom that the Buddhas and Lords and other Buddha fields will be moved to breathe forth this shout of triumph. Good is quietude, good is self-discipline, good is self-mastery, good is it to have observed the practice of the religious life. Good is the non-harming of all living beings, so that when he has passed away into nirvana, there may be no disappearance of the true Dharma, and so that when they merely hear his name, the beings in the world system, countless as the sands of the Ganges, in the 10 directions, will become fixed on the utmost right and perfect enlightenment. At that time, when a bodhisattva, a great being who courses in perfect wisdom, brings forth these virtuous qualities, the 4 great kings in the great utility cosmos reflect as follows. When will give the 4 bowls to the bodhisattva, this great being, as the great kings of the past have done to the Tathagatas of the past, and the gods of the 33 are enraptured, the Yama gods, the Tushita gods, the Nirmanarata gods, and the Parinirmita Basavartin gods are delighted and decide to arrange for service to that bodhisattva, that great being. The hosts of the asuras are derided, and the heavenly hosts and the great richly cosmic wax strong and rejoice. And the higher gods decide to invite this one, when he has been fully enlightened, to turn the wheel of Dharma. At the time when a bodhisattva, great being who courses in perfect wisdom, grows in the 6 perfections, and that time the sons and daughters of good family who belong to the bodhisattva vehicle become enraptured and will want to become his mother and father, his wife and sons, his kinsmen and relations. The gods right up to the Akanishta gods are enraptured, because the bodhisattva shuns sexual intercourse. From the first thought of enlightenment downwards, the bodhisattva is chaste. He is not conjoined with fettering dharmas. He reflects that one who is not chaste, who pursues sensuous pleasures, he causes an obstacle to rebirth even in the Brahma world. How much more than to supreme enlightenment? Therefore, Bodhisattva chaste, not unchaste, should, having left his home, know full enlightenment. Shariputra. Does then the Bodhisattva in all circumstances have parents, wives, sons, paternal and maternal relatives? Lord. Some Bodhisattvas do. Some of them, from the first thought of enlightenment onwards, take chastity upon themselves and course in the course of the Bodhisattva always as crown princes until they know full enlightenment. Some Bodhisattvas taste the five sense qualities through their skill in means and afterwards leave home and know full enlightenment. Just as a clever magician or magician's apprentice, well trained in magical illusions, would conjure up the five sense qualities, delight in them, play with them, minister to them. What do you think, Shariputra? Would that magician or magician's apprentice have actually tasted and relished those five sense qualities? Shariputra. No, O Lord. The Lord. Just so the Bodhisattvas, though their skill in means, taste the five kinds of sense qualities for the sake of maturing beings, but without being stained by those sense qualities. Sense desires are disparaged by the Bodhisattva or with the words, all ablaze are sense desires, disgusting, murderous, inimical. It is in such a spirit that the Bodhisattva, for the sake of maturing beings, lays hold of the five sense qualities. This is the end of the second chapter of the Life Sutra on Perfect Wisdom, the Satasahasrika Prajnaparamita Sutra.